Hi everybody, this is Anne. If you watch a lot of our videos, you'll know that I'm inspired by origami and templates for paper folding projects. In this video, I chose 3 such paper templates and attempted to alter them for hand building projects. I'm going to show you how I use those templates to construct these forms. First, I'll make a triple bud vase. I rolled out a 1/4 inch slab and ribbed it smooth on the front and back with a red rib. I let it dry a couple of hours to let it stiffen up a bit. I cut out 2 of the wide elongated template piece. The top of the template piece actually has straight lines that meet in the middle, but I decided to round off the top when I cut it out. I then cut out 2 of the elongated skinny template piece and 1 of the smaller diamondy shaped piece, plus an extra skinny piece that I'll adorn the top with. I ended up with 6 pieces in all. Next, I took my 45-degree angle cutter and cut both sides of the 1 elongated template piece and both of the elongated skinny template pieces. These will be the front and the side panels. I scored all of the edges and slipped one side of the wide elongated piece. I attached the elongated skinny pieces to the slipped edge to create the first corner of the form, like so. I used my fingers to seal the 2. Then I rolled a thin coil and placed it in the inner seam. I used my finger to seal the seam and make it nice and sturdy. I attached the other side just like the first, again using my fingers and a thin coil along the inner seam. Next, I stood up the 3 sides and attached the 4th panel along each corner, just like the others, using my fingers to gently pinch the edges together to seal them. To make sure they don't come apart, I again rolled long thin coils and used the long end of a paintbrush to push them into each inner seam. I used a rubber rib to smooth the clay and make the corners nice and crisp. Next, I needed to add a foot. I rolled out a 1/4 inch slab and placed the body of the piece on top. I traced the slab flush with the bottom edge using a needle tool. I picked up the body and scored the inside of the traced line on the slab and along the bottom of the body. I slipped one side and attached the 2. I cut away the excess clay like this and then used my fingers to connect the 2 parts along the outside. Next, I wanted to cap off the top. I placed the diamondy shaped piece, which I rounded off the sharp side edges, along the top. As you can see, it's wider than the opening. I needed to round out the form to make it fit. I used my fingers along the top to begin this process. I then used my hands along the inside of the piece to push the walls outward. Once I got it to fit, I scored both the cap edge and the top edge of the body. I pushed them together and sealed the edges with my fingers. I didn't want to be able to see any separation between the 2. I then took the last long skinny piece and attached right to the center line along the top. It's just for decoration, but I think it adds an extra dimension and, as such, extra interest to the form. I used my fingers to soften the edges and seal the seams. I then placed 3 evenly spaced marks along the top like so. I used my hole maker to cut the 3 openings at the top of the vase. Now here's this cute smaller brother I made previously. The slight curved line, mixed with the extra details along the top, breaks the tension created by the rest of the long, sharp, straight lines, thus resulting in a form that's simple yet elegantly dynamic. This next form deals with the added problem of how to handle a template with curved sides. I rolled and ribbed a slab and let it set up until it was soft leather hard. With the 3 template pieces, I cut out 4 of each from the slab. Then I set aside the triangle pieces for now. I needed to slightly bevel the edges of all the side pieces, but I didn't have the exact tool to make the cuts. Instead, I used my fingers to pare down the sides like this. I continued on each piece for both sides, being careful not to stretch out the shapes. I wanted all the teardrop side pieces to curve inward on the final piece. So I formed them around a thick dowel rod with my fingers, again being careful not to stretch them. I ended up with this banana peel shape for each of them. Now it's time to put them together. I started by scoring and slipping the sides of each panel. I attached a banana peel panel along the side of the first hourglass panel while the pieces were still flat on the mat. I began by using my fingers to make a tight seal. Then I added a thin coil to the inside seam, just like the first project. I then attached another banana peel to the opposite side of the hourglass panel and finished it with a coil. I then attached the next banana shape to the right side of the next hourglass panel, along with that thin coil to the inner seam. I did the same thing with the third hourglass panel. I stood the 3 panels upright and attached the second hourglass banana peel along the side. It was a little fiddly to line it up like I needed it, but I finally got it. I used my fingers to create a tight seam along the outside, and then added a thin coil along the inner edge for a tight seal. I repeated the same process with the third hourglass banana peel, making sure that the edges along the top and bottom would eventually come together in a square shape. Finally, I attached the last hourglass panel to complete the square shape. When I had trouble getting my fingers into the center of the piece to add a long coil, I used a long-handled brush like this to complete the job. Once it was attached, I went around each edge with a red rubber rib to smooth the sides and make the corners crisp. For the bottom of the piece, I placed the body on top of a slab scrap, cut around it just like I did on the first project. For the top of the piece, I laid out the triangle pieces. I used my 45-degree angle cutter to cut each of the edges. I then scored, slipped, and attached all the sides, making sure to put thin coils along the inner edges. I scored and slipped the pyramid to the top of the form and made sure the seam was secure and the edges were sharp. When the piece stiffened up, I made cutouts along the top so I could put a tall floral arrangement inside of it. So here's the same bone-dry piece that I decorated with underglazes. I'm excited to glaze this one. I'll construct the body of this lantern form similar to how I constructed the monument. This form has the added problem of a curved top, which I cut out the pieces for and put them aside for now. Like the last one, I lined up the lantern-shaped sides with the teardrop shapes in between. I then pared down the edges of each side with my fingers like I did before. I then bent each of the teardrop cut pieces over a smaller dowel rod until they formed these tiny banana peel shapes. I scored all my edges, then lined up the first banana peel to the center of one of the edges of the lantern panel. Note that the banana peel will not completely touch the top and bottom edges of the lantern-shaped piece. I sealed the seam with my fingers and put thin coils along the inner seams. I used my thumb to further bend the banana peel so that it was more of a 90-degree angle. I attached one banana peel to each side. I ended up with 4 sections like this. As you can see, the pieces will line up so that the lantern panels curve around and join at the top and bottom. I scored the edges, slipped one, and attached the first 2 sides together, forming a 90-degree angle with that extra inward curve in between. I made sure to put a small coil in between each inner seam. I added the third side like I did the first 2, really using my fingers to seal the seams. I turned the form upside down just because it was more stable, and then attached the last side like this. For the bottom, again I set the body on a slab, slipped, scored, attached, and added coils to the inner seam so it looked like this on the inside. I cut the extra clay away and sealed the bottom to the piece. For the top, I lined up 3 of the pieces like this. I gently bent the hourglass shape until the edges lined up with the length of the side curved pieces. I attached the curved edges to the bent hourglass just at the very edges. You can see that this leaves little windows still opened on the sides. I cut out 2 more of those curved side pieces. I turned the whole top over and butted those pieces up to the edges to close off the windows. Note that the piece is extended up beyond the flat curved side, so I cut it flush with that edge, like this. I sealed all the seams along the inner edges, then placed it on top of the lantern form to make sure it fit. And that's pretty close. Now I attach the top to the lantern. When the piece was a true leather hard, I attached a round collar and opened the piece up along the inner edge. Xiem did some cold carving on one of the pieces. If you want to see more about this technique, check out the link above. And when we get these glazed, we'll put photos in the community section. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time in the studio.